Flying your drone through tight spaces and low to the ground can produce some incredible footage, but it's also where even the smallest mistake can end your flight in seconds. In this video, I'll cover 6 commonly overlooked things when flying in complex environments that could mean the difference between a smooth flight and a crashed drone. Along the way, I'll test some of these points, including one setting that actually makes flying through obstacles much harder. We'll start with the most important points before moving on to some more advanced tips and tricks so you can fly with more confidence and avoid going home with just a controller. Okay, so the first thing to bear in mind when you fly in complex environments is that you should allow the drone to get a good GPS lock before flying into any confined spaces, such as under tree cover. The reason for this is that trees, buildings, and other large obstacles can partially block the GPS signals coming from the satellites overhead. As a result, the drone may not be able to see as many satellites once you're underneath them. That doesn't mean the drone is suddenly going to lose control, but it does mean its GPS positioning may become less accurate. The drone can start drifting slightly, which could become a problem if the drone drifts into something like a branch or a wall. To demonstrate this, let's see what happens when the drone flies under tree cover and how it affects the satellite count. You can see that after descending under the trees, the number of satellites decreases significantly from around 24 down to 17. So, before you fly into a more challenging environment, it's worth taking a few extra seconds to make sure you've got enough satellites connected and that the home point has been updated. That way, you're giving the drone the best possible start before GPS conditions may become less favourable. The next thing to be aware of when flying in difficult environments is to not entirely rely on the obstacle avoidance sensors. Without a doubt, the obstacle avoidance sensors are one of the most important safety features on modern drones, but it's important to remember that these sensors definitely have some limitations. Objects such as leaves, tree trunks, and larger obstacles are usually detected by the drone quite easily. However, the sensors struggle to detect smaller obstacles like thin branches and power lines. In fact, in my own testing of the obstacle avoidance sensors in the past, when the drone was flying in the forest, thin branches were not detected by the sensors and caused the drone to crash. The obstacle avoidance sensors can also struggle in low light conditions. So even though the obstacle avoidance sensors are a good safety net, you should by no means expect them to work 100% of the time. The third thing that you should do when flying your drone in tighter spaces is to maintain line of sight with the drone. This does seem quite intuitive and also ties into the previous point regarding thin branches, because if you can't clearly see the drone, you won't be able to see smaller obstacles around it which may not be detected by the drone itself. When you're flying in an open field, it's usually quite easy to judge where the drone is. But in a more complex environment, a single tree trunk or a few branches can completely block your view, even if the drone is just a few meters away. Once that happens, it's much harder to judge your position and orientation, making it easier to accidentally fly into an obstacle that you simply couldn't see. The view from the drone's camera is also quite restricted and won't show you everything around the drone. So the practical tip here is that when flying in places like a forest, don't fly too far away from where you can still see the drone. Instead, move yourself around and follow the drone if you need to fly further through the trees. Continuing on from the previous point, it's also a good idea to have an escape route planned when flying in narrow spaces. It's a good idea to ask yourself, if I suddenly need to leave this area, where am I going to go? It might be an opening in the trees or a clear patch where you can safely climb. If something happens to the drone or if the controller powers off, you already have a plan B prepared. You don't want to have to be flying the drone blindly or under pressure, especially in a complex environment. Now let's take a look at how return to home can be an issue when flying in areas where there are obstacles above the drone, such as a forest. Usually, when the drone loses connection to the controller or it has a low battery, it will return to home by rising up to the preset return to home altitude set in the settings, fly back to the home point and land. However, you of course don't want the drone to fly upwards into any branches or other obstacles, because this can of course cause the drone to crash. Now, even though some drones do have upwards facing obstacle avoidance sensors, this issue still applies. This is because the obstacles above the drone are usually thin objects, especially in a forest, and not easily detectable by the sensors. Instead, a safer option would be to set it so that the drone lands at its current location instead of attempting to fly back. If you're flying in a forest, you wouldn't mind the drone landing when it's a few meters away from you instead of trying to fly upwards to the preset return to home altitude and maybe colliding with obstacles. To change this setting, go to the settings and you can select land instead of return to home if the drone loses signal. Finally, coming back to the obstacle avoidance sensors, it's worth considering switching the obstacle avoidance mode to bypass instead of brake when flying around many obstacles. Before we explain why, let's first take a look at what these two obstacle avoidance modes each do. When the brake mode is activated and the drone detects an obstacle, the drone slows down until it comes to a complete stop. When the bypass mode is activated, the drone's system finds a way around the obstacle and continues flying forwards. The reason it may be better to use the bypass mode is that when flying in close proximity to many obstacles, such as leaves, if it was in brake mode, the drone would constantly be slowing down every time it detected an obstacle. This could make it quite difficult to have the drone fly smoothly in a given direction and get some smooth shots. So there we have it. Those are 6 things that you should always keep in mind when flying your drone in complex environments. None of them will guarantee that you'll never have a crash, but together they can significantly reduce the chances of something going wrong. By thinking ahead and understanding the drone's limitations, you're much less likely to end up in a bad situation. If you found this video useful, I'd appreciate you leaving a like on this video and consider subscribing if you'd like to see more drone tips, experiments, and tutorials like this in the future. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.